Good morning, everyone. I hope your Monday's going well. My name is Stacy Brayuka. I am known as the technology therapist and Squirrel Wrangler. I am the founder of the Find Your Formula coaching programs, and today is Mindset Monday. And it also happens to be Ask Me Anything. So, talking about mindfulness, mindset, productivity, technology, and balancing your life. So, why is balancing our life so important, and why is it so challenging both? So, it's important that we balance our lives because that we work on balancing our lives. It's not necessarily the balance itself. It's not like it's not the destination, it's the journey. The journey in balancing our lives is really important because then it forces us to have to go into our daily life and look at what in the world are we doing? What could we be doing? What should we be doing? Um, what is it we want to do more of? What is it we're doing that we want to do less of? And does that all still kind of vibe with us? Does it fit us? So we need to do that on occasion and really kind of on in an ongoing scenario, because if you don't continually take stock of what's going on and be mindful of how things are impacting you, how life is impacting you, you are going to end up off balance at some point. So thank you for the people who are joining. I really appreciate it. Erica and Anna, talking about mindset today. Anna, we are kindred spirits, being your fellow psychotherapist, and I am a clinical social worker. And I am not just jokingly called the technology therapist. I actually am clinically licensed as well. And then I happen to be a geek girl. So there's a whole story yesterday on the podcast or on here on Wisdom that I did on, what is a technology therapist, and, who am I and what in the world is a technology therapist. But today I'm talking about mindset, and also kind of talking about a little bit of life, the mindset of how and why we need to balance our lives, like what that looks like. Because I have a formula of 9 arenas of our life that we need to balance, to keep in balance in order to have more time to do the things we love. So, we need to constantly be taking stock of those 9 areas and seeing, are we in balance? Are we out of balance? Because if you don't keep an eye on them, they're kind of like squirrels in a way, I guess, too, that they're gonna, get away from you. And then it's going to be, you're going to be hurting them and wrangling them. And, it doesn't feel good when it gets to that. So we need to have a mindset of, constantly keeping ourselves in the balance that works for us. Not the balance that everybody else says, but the balance that works for us, because each of us are individual human beings that have lots of different nuances that impact how we react to our world, and what things we enjoy, what things we don't enjoy, how we do things. Example, in my house, we have a night owl and an early morning, and it sometimes gets challenging as to who is awake when and who's doing what when. Um, if lights are on too early in the morning for me, I get a little grumpy-fied. So I'd love to have any guests, anybody in the audience who wants to jump in and talk about mindset, or ask questions, or jump in to talk about their experience with um, balancing their life, um, challenges, be it personal, professional, kind of get a couple of different perspectives going here. I've got the mic open for people to come in and share their stuff, and we can get a conversation going here on Monday. Um, Otherwise, I'm going to just keep talking and hope that I appreciate you listening, but I want to make sure that it's valuable information for you. I kind of wish they had a way to give feedback. People could give you feedback, even though um, you can't. I can see there are 8 people. I can look and see who's there, but I'd love to be able to get feedback of, is this valuable? Like some kind of way to tell if people were clapping or something, or thumbs up. So, but barring that, I will just keep going. So another aspect of life balance and mindset that I think we were all forced into a huge universal mindset shift in January of 2020 when COVID hit. I think it forced many people who may not have ever looked at their life balance, or at their stress levels, or at how much time they were able to spend with family or not, or how much time, what were they doing on their commute to and from work, and was it spent as valuable time or just lifeless drone driving, if you will. I think we all as experience that shift together, and worldwide events that give us a shift together are generally traumatic, of course, but they're also, thankfully, they don't happen as often because um, because of the traumatic nature. But the positive nature of a global shift, in my opinion, is that it gives us as humans something to connect to, with each other, and something to be able to go, hey, we all experience this together. We're all in this together. It reminds us the as actually William Shatner put it last week when he got off of from going into space, is the fragility of life. It reminds us we're all on this big rock together, hurtling through space. We're not very few of us are not living on the planet itself, and we all are in this life together. um and how can we do that so that we support each other? So um I think that's what I call a gift from COVID. And I think there are a variety of gifts we have received from this experience we've been through, and one of them is people waking up and thinking more about their mental health, thinking more about spending time with family, thinking more about using their time in ways that they enjoy, provide them balance, uh, give them hope. Um, and just like when our lives shifted 20 years ago with 9/11, and how we came together as a world in different ways, and then we started living and thinking about some things differently, this event is providing us some of those similar shifts. And what I'm hoping is that one of those shifts is that we're able to talk about things like mental health and mindset and mindfulness differently, not just for the moment because COVID has hit us, but for going forward as a planet. Because the stigma with mental health has been there way longer than it ever should have. And, this body that we're in is all encompassing. It's your mental health, it's your physical health, it's your um, societal or relationship health, and it's your spiritual health all in one body. You can't, say, oh, well, I'm going to cut off my spiritual health, so I'm going to cut my hand off. Or, well, I don't need to worry about my mental health, so I'm just going to cut my head off. Because if you cut your head off, I don't know that you really, I don't think you'd be able to function much longer. So, I mean, and it really is just that silly sounding. But as a society, we need to get up and talk about it some more. We need to honor and respect our fellow human beings about what their experience with their mental health is at the moment. So again, my name is Stacy Braiuka. I am known as the technology therapist and Squirrel Wrangler, and I'm the founder of the Find Your Formula coaching programs. I have been a clinical social worker of over 25 years. I also have a degree in public health, so my view on the pandemic has been quite interesting compared maybe to some others. And my view of mental health and the pandemic has definitely been challenged and broadened and grown even more. Yes, I have the educational background for it, but to see this happen on the scale that we've all just experienced has been kind of awe-inspiring for me as well. I also happen being a business owner, watching how that's playing out in the business world. So I have brought all of that together to create the Find Your Formula program and the 9 arenas. I'm actually going to be broadcasting here on Wisdom I may be here every day, or I may be on one of the other platforms, LinkedIn, Facebook, or my YouTube channel, every day of the week. And then some of those will come out as podcasts. For example, tomorrow is Technology Tuesday. It's not only an Ask Me Anything, it's going to be a live recorded office hours and potential podcast bites. It will be broadcast probably onto Facebook Live into my Facebook group. So that is technology therapy. If you look up technology therapist on the App Store, you can find my app. You can find the podcast Technology Therapist as well, and you can find links to my socials here in Wisdom, as well as I am pretty much at Stacy Braiuka on almost everything. I think Clubhouse I might be at Stacy Braiuka 1. There may be a couple of them that I have to have a number 1 behind my name because they messed up the first time I had an account. Because as far as I know, I may be one of the only Stacy Braiukas in the world. But that's neither here nor there. I really appreciate having so many listeners, and I would love, love, love to have anybody who wants to come on stage and talk about mindset, because I have another 15, 20, 30 minutes that I'm going to be here, probably 15 minutes that I'm going to be here, and I'd love to hear about your experience from mindset and even your experience the last couple of years, if you've had a mindset shift, or if you've observed some other things. I'd just like to get that conversation going in the world. Like I said, barring that, I will keep speaking, and I will also have record. This will obviously stay recorded here on Wisdom, but I will put my portion of it up on my podcast, which is also in the anywhere you have podcasts, Technology Therapist. Again, tomorrow's Tech Tuesday. Ask the technology therapist anything. Wednesday is going to be, if not now, Wednesday. Thursday is Take Time Thursday, and Friday is Find Your Formula Friday. So I'm going to be broadcasting in various places across my social media on the different days. Sometimes it will be here, sometimes it will be on Facebook Live, sometimes LinkedIn Live, and I think primarily those three places. It just depends on where the content for that day fits appropriately. And then things will be aggregated together. But I say all of that to say that I will be covering the 9 areas in the formula in various different ways. And then you can find, of course, tidbits about that on the app as well. So today's area of the formula is mindset. And mindset really is not just our mindset about life. It's really covers a variety of ground. So let me see if I can put some structure to the different arenas that we really need to put our mindset in. And I alluded to this a minute ago. We need to look at the 4 areas of our life that mindset can and does impact. And those are our biological or physical bodies, our physical self. You need to have mindset about when you sleep. You need to have mindset about your eating. You need to have mindset about mindset and mindfulness. I'm actually going to plug the two together today. Mindset and mindfulness about when you sleep, about how long you sleep, about the conditions in which you sleep. You need to have it about what food you're eating, how much water you're drinking. I mean, biologically, we get inundated with all of that all the time, right? But let's look then at the next one is mental health wise. And on the mental health scenario, you have the mindfulness of, and these are all, by the way, in the arenas where it's about you and things that you have control of for yourself. So mindset and mindfulness about your thinking patterns. So mental health to me is or psychological is cut into two broad arenas. Your thinking patterns or your cognitions and your emotions or your feelings. So you need to think about what are the thinking patterns I have around this thing? But then also, what are my reactions or my emotions or feelings around this thing? Then the next quadrant is your social scenarios. And that's going to be your side of any relationship. And what is my mindset and my mindfulness around how I enter a relationship? And I don't mean beginning a relationship. I mean, how do I present myself to this person at this moment in time? Like, how am I presenting myself to you as an audience? I need to be mindful about that at the moment. My mindset about it this morning was provide value, give education, and provide a space to speak about that. The 4th quadrant is spiritual. And so that is my definition of spiritual in this context is on a continuum of hope to hopelessness. So anything that gives you grounding, solace, connection to source, your description of what source is, be it God, Allah, Yahweh, Creator, Buddha, your washing machine. Whatever your definition of source is, and the universe. Where do we get everything? And I call it spirituality, and I describe it that way on the continuum of hope to hopelessness because spirituality is individual. Again, I said these 4 quadrants are the things that are within our internal locus of control, anything that we have individual control over ourselves. This isn't what someone else tells us. This isn't what society tells us. This isn't anything except for what is our personal mindset and mindfulness about it. So in order to generalize the definition, I generalized it as that continuum of hope to hopelessness, because when our spirituality is strengthened, we are more hopeful. When our spirituality is has had some dents in it, or has been challenged, we're usually less hopeful. And that spirituality is individual. You could have twins that grow up in the exact same household, same experience, exact experiences, and their spiritualities are going to be different. It may not be much, and it may be, but our spirituality is different. And I want to be very distinctful that that's different from religion. Religion's a totally different topic. You will not likely hear me speaking of religion much on my channel, because it's a collective experience and not an individual experience. And I do not feel like I am qualified to speak as an expert on any religious scenario. I am qualified to speak as an expert on my personal spirituality, and so are you. Whatever yours is, you are the expert there, no one else. So those are the 4 areas we need to be mindful of and have set our mindset about. If you picture it as a pie, if you will, cut into quadrants, but then you want to picture what else is on that, around that pie. So the other things that are floating around are things outside of our control. Those are things from from society, from others, even in that social arena of the quadrant I talked about. Any individual we are in a social relationship with, they are literally outside of the piece of pie, but they are out in society. Now, you could picture it as their bubble butting up against your bubble at that point, however you want to picture that. But it's still, their actions are outside of our control. Can we influence them? Yes. Should we influence them? Maybe, maybe not. Do we influence them? Definitely. Do we influence each other? Yes. But that's also why we should honor and respect each other's individual piece. So, again, I'm so excited. I've got 33 people sitting here listening. I would love to hear from anybody who wants to step up to the mic and speak about your experience with mindset and life. I see Tiff, the pink bubble. You're back. Yeah, I saw you yesterday, and good to see you again. So trying to see if there's anybody in here that I know. It looks like almost everybody are new people that I don't know, and I would love to hear what your experience in this when it comes to mindfulness and mental health, especially how we've been impacted the last year or so. I'd love to have somebody just click and join. You're more than welcome to, and I'd love to get a little bit of a conversation going. I've got about 20 more minutes, so I could speak to at least 2 people up at the mic. Love to hear how your Mindset Monday's going. What made you click on the button and come into this Mindset Monday? I'd love to know that too. If there's nobody jumping up to the mic, I I don't want to drone. I want to make sure that what I'm talking about is providing value. Although, with everyone staying in the room and listening, I'm hoping that it is. Again, if the wisdom folks are listening, I'd really like to have a way to have some feedback there where people could at least, you could see that people are thumbs up or um, thumbs down or some kind of feedback where you could at least see, you know, what people are thinking about the content that you're providing. It would be really nice to have a feedback loop there to react off of. Um, and, I love the fact that it can be a one-on-one conversation. That part's really cool. Um, but I also would love to have a way to really have a good feedback loop there with my audience. So, um, I know that almost everybody probably has been here the whole time to hear my drone of an about who I am, what I do. My name's Stacy Brayuka, the technology therapist and Squirrel Wrangler. I'm the founder of the Find Your Formula coaching program, and I'm not just a tech therapist, or not just blah, blah, blah. I am not speaking well at the moment. I am um, I am actually a clinical social worker. I am a therapist, but I provide coaching to individuals, business leaders hire me to help them unearth and balance their life formula so that they can get more done and do more of what they love. We work through different technologies that might be helpful for them to help them be more productive. We work on their mindset about technology. Many people are terrified of technology, and oftentimes it's really our mindset or our mindfulness about technology that causes us to be terrified. And it's not even always something to be terrified about. It's finding the right tool for the job. Sometimes it's finding someone who can help make sure that that tool is working, that it works for them, so they can actually get it to work, so they can do more and get more done. Ashley Dowdy, a PhD in ed tech software support. Ooh, that is nice. As a fellow geek, I'm gonna guess maybe, fellow geek girl and a fellow educator, I am loving that. I'm having fun seeing on the screen here to read people's uh, Gilbert is passionate about using wisdom to inspire people to be the best version of themselves. Yes, because we need to help each other be the best versions of ourselves. Ying is an award-winning entrepreneur. Dr. Ashley with her in ed tech. Beauty on the go, self-care resources. Oh yes, anytime. So we all need self-care resources all the time. That's actually a piece of the formula. It's a huge piece of the formula, beauty. So I love seeing that. Social audio consultant and talk show host about simulcasting to multiple apps. Lee, that would be fun to hear about more. To I'm wondering about simulcasting to multiple apps when you're like here on Wisdom. How do I don't think there's much yet that you can simulcast there, but because I am an automation nerd, but I just may have not found a good automation for it yet. Clint, welcome. Minima, I hope I said that right. Teaching the truth about current podcast. Briona, data scientist. Yes, got to play with the nerdy stuff. Dane, Danae, I hope that I said your name right. Danae Smith Mathis, playwright, author, and poet. The world doesn't have enough playwrights or poets, I don't think, ever. Clarissa, Bryant, William, Diane, Alyssa, Pam, Lester, uh, Shayla, Hamza, Johan, Brad. Brad, that's interesting. Becoming a great ancestor. I love that. I don't think that's something to be mindful of. Is are we ourselves good ancestors for who is coming after? Um, Maya again, Tiff, Miss with the pinka bubble. Um, Catherine Mahoney, Marcus, um, Coupon Chica, Lisa, Lolita, Maciel, Maciel. Um, Lots of other mental health folks. Martin, Miriam, the Dutch mentor, Dan, Camille. I'm just going to get through everybody's name here for a minute. Erica, Graciela, Roman, Josh, Itsuko, Christina, and Anna. Anna, you were the first one in here, and you have been here the whole time, host of the Badass Confidence Coach podcast. Because every coach or every human should be badass. We should be able to describe ourselves as badass. We all should. Miss Laura Franson's in the house. I finally have somebody I know in the house. I love it. And she knows why, and now she has a follower, not just me. If you guys get a chance, follow Miss Laura Franson. She is, speaking of badass, she is a badass virtual assistant. I know this because she is my virtual assistant, and I love being able to say that. So, I'd love anybody who wants to jump on stage. Just click that button where it says join and come up and let's talk about your mindset for Monday. Ask me anything about what I've talked about already this morning, or about the arenas of the formula, about what in the world is a technology therapist and what does one do with a technology therapist. I would love to hear from anybody. I have 44 people in the room. There should be somebody who wants to hit that mic. Bueller? I hope you're all having a great Monday. And maybe you're not hitting the mic because you're not only have your mindset going for Monday, but you're getting stuff done. I am doing both right now. I am focusing on giving you guys some value, but after this, I'm gonna go into production mode and get some more web pages built, because that's my part of my day today is building web pages, and funnels and emails, and they seem to never end. If anybody else in here, entrepreneur, and the funnels and that kind of thing never ends, like you're always building something else. So I think I've just almost run out of juice. I don't know which direction to go next unless somebody jumps in and gives us a direction to go. I love the fact that there are so many people in here listening. And tell you what, since there's not a feedback loop right here in Wisdom, I'm going to create my own feedback loop because, if there's a problem to be fixed, I've got to solve it. So if you have gotten value from today's listening, if you've received some tidbit of value from me, I would absolutely love a feedback loop here. If you wouldn't mind, either hit one of the social medias that you are comfortable with on my profile. If you're new to the platform here, and you can see all the people in the room, you can click on the 44 there, and then you can see everybody in the room. You can follow other people, or if you want to go and look at their profile, you can click on their picture. You can click on my picture and go to my profile and see the different social medias that I'm on. Please give me a follow on whichever social media is comfortable to you. And then second, So 3 things. Give me a follow, send me a message and let me know what you got value from today. And the third thing, if you're interested in even more, look up Technology Therapist on the App Store, download my app, and follow the information there. You can also, you could actually skip number 2 and just go straight to the app, and you can private message me on the app. I'd love to know what value you received out of this last 35-40 minutes of me talking about mindset, mindfulness, mental health, COVID, and I'd actually like to know, what else would you like to hear in the future? What other things would you like to hear from me about? I again, as a I'm a I am a clinical therapist. I am a major geek girl. I can have a strange gift of being able to look at a piece of technology and go, this is what this is going to do for us in the next 20 years. Or this piece of technology, it's not so good, and it's not that particularly helpful. Like, you won't find me necessarily on various social medias just to be socializing, which is funny because social. I do socialize on social media with my friends and family, and I do socialize with individuals, but it's very it's specific. It's not always it's not as often what I ate for dinner. Not to say that I'm not going to do that, but um, I'm not there just to post pretty pictures, or watch videos for hours. Uh, Again, not that I haven't done that or wouldn't do it, but um, I, when I look at technology in general, I look at it from a, what function does this serve? It has to serve a very high level of function for the price. It could be an expensive piece of software, but if it has the right function, if it has a certain level of functionality, practicality, and makes my life easier and better, I'm going to invest in it. And I'm going to encourage other people here. You might want to invest in this versus these 10 things that you might get for free, but you're spending all of your time on. That's kind of some of my magic tricks on that. It also has to have a super high level of playing nice with other softwares, because if it doesn't and it's causing you stress, then no, we need a different solution. Software, hardware, tech should not cause stress. It should decrease stress. That is the bottom line of what I do. If software or tech or hardware or any of those things is causing you stress, talk to me. We got to get that straightened out. If that's causing you stress and you'd like to, then talk to me, because that's not what it's supposed to do. I have somebody jumping on stage finally. I've got Miss Laura. Laura, welcome to the stage. Good Monday.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good, and you?
I am good. I've been sitting here rambling for about 30 minutes, 40 minutes by myself, but there's 50 people in this room.
Well, I wanted to add to what you were just talking about. So, as Stacy mentioned, I am her virtual assistant, assisting her and her clients. And before I met Stacy, I was like, my mindset was all over the board as far as what technology to use, like everybody talks about all these different platforms to go join and to waste your energy on, really. And when you waste your energy, it wastes your mindset. You
Mm.
just kind of get drugged down. And a lot of times, newer entrepreneurs who are coming in, especially coming in from this COVID, trying to work from home, things like that, they give up. And I'm seeing a lot of that from a lot of new entrepreneurs because they are getting drained mentally
Oh,
because of all these platforms.
and that
So
breaks my heart. God, that breaks my heart because there's so much potential.
there's lots of
There are
perfect.
potential and dreams that are being knocked out that don't have to be. They
Hmm.
don't have to be knocked out.
So, um, so I just want to say thank you for opening up your technology knowledge, and um, it's really shined a new light on my business because now instead of being part of 50 different platforms, I'm narrowing it down to only a couple, and
Oh my
it just
God.
feels so great. And it's put me in a whole new mindset as far as my business and how it can flourish, and even how your technology stuff can flourish other businesses and put people back at a solid mindset of succeeding and being able to do what they enjoy, even if it's staying at home and raising kids and having a business on the side. It sets that mindset at a different level.
So let me just see if I can reflect back to you what I think I just heard because I want to make sure that I heard it clearly, and I want to um I want to savor it maybe. Um, so before we met, your software was maybe more challenging to you. Or you weren't sure which direction to go.
That's correct.
Okay. And then, um, so I know what my side of my process is that I meet with people, I find out what things are they using, I find out, and it's a process. It's not just a one time, it's not a one and done. It's a, um, just like in the therapy world, there we do what's called an assessment, and an assessment is not just um, a one thing like you fill out this piece of paper and you're done. It's ongoing for the whole time you're working with a client. And in my opinion, my I bring my therapy process over to technology, so I'm constantly assessing. I'm assessing right now, Laura, what your technology needs and frustrations and levels of stress and things are. And so what I so we go through this assessment of what are your goals with the technology, what's your literacy with technology, what's your comfort level with technology, what's your budget with technology, what do you want it to do specifically, what other tools are you using, does it work well with them. I go through all of those things and more, and you and I talked about that,
Hmm.
and then we came up with a solution that works for you. And to be uh, clear here, I am technology agnostic. I don't care which technology someone's using. I just want it to make sure it's the package and the setup that works for them.
Hmm.
That said, I also do have a particular technology that I personally use that I am in love with, that does almost it has that high level of technology function I was talking about, and it um plays nice with lots of other things. So I know that that's what I shared with you, Laura, and that I know that's part of, is that part of what has taken a weight off your shoulders?
It has. It has taken a big weight off my shoulders.
Can you tell me maybe a little bit about like the how, not necessarily, just the pieces, the what does that particular software or whatever the things that it's doing that has taken the weight off of your shoulders and like how it took the weight off?
So I have been working for a while on creating a program. And of course, when you're creating a program and stuff like that, you have to have like your email funnels, and you have to have all this stuff so that you can gain email lists. And so before um, we had talked and stuff like that about your technology that you sponsor and stuff. Um, it I was going through all these different platforms to figure out, okay, what funnel am I going to set up to that meets well with my social media to bring over here to this platform to capture email lists and to capture this. And I was spending tons of money out because each some Google extensions cost monthly amounts and things like that. And so by the time you add up all these little things and put them all together, and then you're also wasting energy and mindset on learning each of these spots, these platforms to make them integrate together. And
Oh
I know
yeah.
I use so integrate is like combining, letting them read each other and
Yep.
stuff like that. And so
They don't always play nice with each other either.
no,
Um,
they don't. And so um the technology that you have, sorry, I have a dog here that's growling. But the technology that you introduced me to, it eliminated 3 steps there at least.
wow.
3 platforms because it's all in one. Um, and now I can make special tags from my virtual assistant stuff to when I get my program rolling, I can tag people into that specifically so that I can send out emails there. And that would be another thing, a platform that I eliminated because I was going through another platform for sending out group emails.
So you
So,
eliminated about 4 different platforms and
mhm,
and the stress of making all of your platforms work together.
yes,
And that you're so that your bottom line is that your mindset about your business shifted because now these things are off your shoulders.
yes.
Okay.
And the
Wow.
mindset of being able to be like, I can, by next month or whatever, I can produce my program and get it launched before the end of the year. It has really set my mindset and brought me joy because it's like I can do this now. Um,
Oh, I love
so
hearing that. I
that
love hearing that.
made a big shift. And then, of course, Stacy's introduced me to another thing that helped. I love to write, but sometimes you get that writer's block. And she
Oh.
introduced me to another app or platform that helps with that. And so that opened up another door. And it's been rewarding and just adds that
And I
positive
share with you
mindset.
that one. I have really, really bad. I can write academically all day long. So I told you guys, I'm a clinical social worker, I'm a public health educator, and a geek girl. I've been through graduate school twice. I've taught both of those programs as well. I used to teach in social work and in public health in graduate school. So academic writing and actually academic qualitative research is not out of my wheelhouse. But, and Laura, this is going to bump you out in about 7 seconds. You can come back on stage if you want to.
Okay.
Um, it so academic writing is in my wheelhouse. Writing is in my wheelhouse. But I went to business for myself, and all of a sudden, people are saying, "Oh, you need to write a landing page. You need to write an email. You need to write this nurture sequence of emails." All they were speaking a foreign language to me. One, I didn't know what they meant, and I was like, "Okay, so I need to write this set of emails." So I write it, and people are like, "No, no, no. That's way too. That's not written the way you need to write it. That's written in too much academia." And I'm like, but that's how I write. It has literally taken me years to even get to potentially get to the place of writing. Well, all of a sudden, I'm guessing it was earlier this year. Some of these softwares really started being popular, and there are quite a few of them out there now that help with copywriting. Actually, it's been 2 years. It's been almost 2 years now that some of them have been out because I actually resell a copy. I have an agency version of one of the softwares, just like I have an agency version of a software that Laura was talking about that I resell. And again, technology agnostic, as long as it gets the job done for the person, I want to make sure that the set of software is right for them. So these copywriting softwares came out, and all of a sudden I could put in the keywords I'm talking about and tell it to write a landing page or to write a draft of a blog post. And so I was able to have somewhere to start that I didn't have blank page syndrome, because that's what I call it, is that I have blank page syndrome when I look at, a blank Google document and I can't, I don't know what to write. Rosie is coming up on stage. So anyway, I'll just finish off what I was saying there. And I thought I clicked for Rosie, but there she is. So I'll finish off what I was saying there, and then I'd love to welcome you in, Rosie. But these copywriting softwares are there, and you can put your keywords in, and boom, you don't have a blank page. It took so much stress off of my shoulders. And so I have actually a fair collection of different softwares like that, because some are better at one thing again than others. And I help people use those. But it has taken a big stress. So you can be the technology therapist and still be stressed by things, but the piece of technology actually took the stress away from me, as opposed to brought me stress. The stress was the writing. The software took the stress away. Rosie Curry, welcome to the stage. Welcome to the platform.
Hello, I'm so happy to be here. It's funny. So a lot of parallels and very much not. I went back to social work after about 8 years working, and I'm finishing up my bachelor's and planning on doing a master's with the goal of being, well, eventually a psychotherapist, but a coach for now. And so I love what you're saying, and I raised my hand. I think, well, I debated raising my hand before you talked about technology, but now I love what you're saying even more, because I definitely have that white page syndrome. When I was doing I started my degree like quite a while ago, and I had some health stuff that I didn't know about, and it led to a lot of anxiety. So yeah, that's really, really cool that those things exist. I didn't realize it.
They're wonderful. I would say from in a business perspective, they are really, really good. On the academic side of things, like the teacher in me is like, I don't know if I would want to use them from an academic standpoint. But I haven't thought about it from that standpoint either. Not that you were, maybe whether you were or weren't getting to that. You can go ahead. You can be off mute. You don't have to be muted. I actually would love to have a didactic conversation here. This is great. It's the inner social worker in me. I
I get it. Yeah.
I gotta reflect off. I think it's, I haven't ever looked at them from the perspective of possibly using them in an academic setting to get my brain started. I know that back when I was in school, what I would do is, if I was writing a paper on something, I'd copy chunklets from the articles, and frankly, I would completely write back over them. So I wasn't using them. I might use the idea of them. Academic writing, you synthesize and your concepts, and then you do things like that in research writing. But I would literally sometimes have to put an old paper onto the screen first before I started a new one, so that I could write back over the whole thing, over the top of it, but just so there was not a blank page in front of me.
Yeah, I'm thinking of all my students. So I used to work at a college, and I was an accessibility advisor for students with different disabilities, neurodiversity, mental health, etc. And we talked a lot about outlines and different tools to help with writing and writing anxiety and writing distractions and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know whether or not these tools would be helpful or not. I'm very passionate about assistive technology, and in fact, I'm working right now on a lecture for a conference all about whether or not Chrome extensions could qualify as assistive technology tools. So this is really, really
Oh,
interesting to
very
me.
interesting.
And
Okay.
not at all the
I would
question I was going to ask you, but yeah.
yeah, I would absolutely love to connect with you further and discuss it sounds like we have quite a few intersections in there. I'd love it if you have a um, Android or Apple. Actually, the Technology Therapist app is in the App Store,
Okay.
and there, I post stuff in it. It's in it all the time, and you can also reach me through it, and you can schedule a time to meet with me through
Mm-hmm.
it. I would love to. I love the idea that you're looking at Google extensions as assistive because they're frequently they're accessible
Mm-hmm.
in the
Often,
sense of
yes.
being available to people. Um, because assistive technologies aren't always financially accessible,
No, definitely not.
um, but they're vital. I've
Mm-hmm.
had multiple students and clients that have accessibility needs. Um, and when I build my websites, I do the best I can to put things in. I'm not saying I'm good at it because I'm usually moving fast and I know I miss alt tags and things, but um,
Hey, you know what it is? That's a really good start.
yeah, I mean, but you've yeah, that's yeah. I think it's also just even, and since we're talking about mindset, I'm going to swing us back around a little bit in the sense that I, having the mindset that that's important.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Now, once I can hire more VAs, because Laura's amazing, but I don't want her working on that. She has other magical powers she gets to work on. But I think it would be cool to hire somebody to go through my whole website and make sure it's as accessible as possible,
Mm-hmm.
because there's a lot of
It's
information on there
amazing.
now. And actually, even I think on the app, I don't know if it has. I think the app builder I use has the ability to have alt tags, and I think I've alt tagged some things. But now that you've brought that up, I want to go back in and look at my app builder and make sure I can do the same there.
Well, I
Uh,
can I can do a quick test for you later,
yeah.
and try
Oh,
to
that
use
would
it
be
with
awesome.
VoiceOver and see if that works because I'm using an iPhone. Um, I myself am legally blind. I have some vision, but yeah, I'm usually about a couple inches, if that, from my phone. Uh, so, um, so yeah, I can
I'm
definitely take a look.
I'm in the middle age. Your eyes are changing every moment that you look out of them.
Mm.
Stage of, so it's not a it's not necessarily the same. To me, it's not the same level of accessibility issue, but um, it's just an aging one.
But it's important. It's important.
It is. It
I've
is.
worked with older people with visual impairments or vision loss, and there can be, depending on how it goes and how that degree, there could be a sense
Yeah.
of loss, right? So,
There.
yeah.
The sense in the emotional side of things when you're talking about the four quad. I don't know if you heard me talk about the four quadrants earlier. Were
No,
you
I,
here?
yeah. Sorry, got here
If
later.
if you get a chance, you could go back and listen, but you will recognize the four quadrants I talk about.
Hmm.
You will recognize that as biopsychosocial, person in the
Oh,
environment.
okay. Yes, I know those.
And it's biopsycho, in my opinion, because we were taught biopsychosocial, person in the environment,
Hmm.
but I actually personally view that as biopsychosocial spiritual, person in the environment.
I love
And I
that.
actually have a worksheet. If you get a hold of me, I'll be happy to share my worksheet with you that you can use when you later, or as you coach, and later as you become a therapist, because I created it 20 years ago to work with people. It's a journaling tool, and a tool that I use with clients to teach them about locus of control and
Ooh, I love that.
a variety of things. So yeah, I'd love to pass that on to you as a fellow
That's kind of
therapist.
my
And I think if Anna's still in here, if anybody in the room is a therapist or coach, I'm happy to chat with you about it. The only thing I ask about that particular item is that it remains in the that you keep it in the same format and everything that it's in, and that you just and so give me credit for the you know for
of
the
course.
development of it, but I want to pass it on for anybody to use with clients because it's a great tool, and it can be used in a variety of ways.
And it's
So
so important. My my specialty, or my passion is really, there's so many people who just get stuck in the looking at all of the systemic issues and looking at all the prejudice and discrimination and little mini micro violences and whatnot, and they go from having an internal locus of control to an external one, and they learn helplessness, right? And so
well,
those are the
Miss
people that I love
Dr.
to work with.
Dr. Harriet Lerner taught us all about that back in the day.
Yeah, that's definitely my passion. So yeah, it was so
Yeah,
nice
thank you
talking to
for,
you.
oh, I'm so glad you jumped up. It's good to meet other fellow mental health providers. And I love the 77 people in here, and it's a Monday morning. I'm going to say that you have all very much blessed my morning. I really appreciate it. This is the only the second show I've done on the talk that I've done on wisdom. Yesterday, I did one that is titled "Who is this technology therapist?" or basically, what is a technology therapist and what does a technology therapist do? So, um, I it's kind of got my origin story in it. I'd love it if you want to give me a listen, share it. I will ask, I'm going to leave everyone with a couple of calls to action to um, get me to, if you can, look up Technology Therapist on the App Store, download the app, message me, and give me some feedback of something that some kind of value or something you learned today from me. Or from my guests, Rosie and Laura. Thank you guys for being brave. There's 80 people in here now. I can't believe it. There must not be anything else on wisdom right now. Or I hope that I'm actually, you guys have stayed, so I hope I'm providing value. And I would love to know what value you took away from today, as well as what would you like to hear the next time I'm on here. I'm going to be broadcasting every day: Mindset Monday, Tech Tuesday, if not now, Wednesday, Take Time Thursday, and Find Your Formula Friday. My name is Stacy Brayuka. I'm affectionately known as the technology therapist and Squirrel Wrangler, and business leaders hire me to help guide them to balance their formula for sustained passion, profit, and peace, so that they can get more done and do more of what they love. And I would absolutely love to hear from you what you would like to learn about. Tomorrow's Technology Tuesday will probably be, it's going to be live streamed on my Facebook page, so it won't be here on Wisdom, although I might pop in here for a short version of Tech Tuesday. Um, and if not now, Wednesday is probably also going to be, it may actually be on here. It will probably be a fairly short show. As well as Take Time Thursday will be short because I am going to take time and enjoy my 53rd trip around the sun. And then Find Your Formula Friday will maybe be short as well, but I look forward to being able to provide the wisdom community value for things surrounding technology, productivity, mental health, um, balance, work life balance, and uh, those those things. So I hope I've provided you something good today, and I look forward to hearing from you, hopefully in the app. Again, that's technology therapist. It's in the App Store, and I'd love, zap me a message over there so that I can know that you were listening today on Wisdom. If you're listening to this on replay, also please, download the app, send me a message, and share the episode out. Share this episode out with someone that you think might get something from it. I hope everybody has an amazing Monday. And okay, now that I've crossed the 90 threshold, I think I'm gonna just have to. I don't know if I'm gonna sit here until I get to 100 or not. I don't think so, but oh my gosh, there are 91 people in here. You have blessed my morning so much. I don't even know what else to say. And if you ask anybody in my family if I'm saying I don't know what to say, then you've taken my breath away. You've taken my words away. I really appreciate it. So I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful week. And I hope to see some of you again later this week, either here or on Facebook Live or Instagram Live. My links are in my profile. If you don't know how to get to somebody's profile, just click on their picture and then you can go and follow them here on Wisdom and see what they're up to. I hope you have a good mindset for your Monday, and I will see you again later.